My 26 male girlfriend, 25 female, has grown distant after I got beat up defending a group of girls being harassed. Background: I have been with my girlfriend Sarah for 3 years and been living together for 1.5 years. She is honestly everything I have ever wanted, and I'm planning on proposing somewhere next year. So 3 weeks ago I was out with Sarah at a local bar drinking and having a great time with her, as it was just after the quarantine had ended where I live. At around 3 AM we decided to head home. As we headed to the parking lot where we had parked, we noticed a group of 2 girls and a guy who was clearly drunk trying to hit on them and get them to go to his house. The girls were clearly very uncomfortable and trying to find a way out. Sarah told me that we had to do something, and I told her to go call the cops and get someone as well, because the very least I wanted was her to get hurt during this. So I approached the group and tried to pretend I was the boyfriend of one of the 2 girls, and long story short, I got my butt kicked. The guy was at least 6 feet 4 inches, whereas I'm 5 feet 11 inches 167 pounds. I'm fairly muscular myself, but there was no way I could have taken someone that big. I knew it from the start. At least from all the noise we had made, a lot of people rushed the scene and the girls got away safe. I was rushed to the ER because the creep had broken my ribs, which had punctured my right lung. Yay. After that incident, Sarah has grown distant from me. Even though she visited and stayed with me at the hospital, she hasn't been the same since. And I thought she just needed time to move past this. However, 5 days ago she told me that she is not the same person after what happened, and she doesn't know if she feels safe with me after I got beat up like that. Honestly, hearing that hurt me more than when I got my ribs broke. She has moved to her parents for the time being, and she told me she needs time. Meanwhile, I had no one here to help me, so my brother left his 2 boys and wife to move in with me. I know I'm just venting at this point, but I don't want this to be over like that. Reddit, is there anything I can do to salvage the situation? Update: my 26 male girlfriend, 25 female, has grown distant after I got beat up defending a group of girls being harassed. Until yesterday it had been 14 days since my last contact with Sarah. My brother had left 4 days prior because I felt bad keeping him away from his family for so long. Plus I could take care of myself to some extent. So around 2 PM, while I was making lunch, I hear the doorbell ring. I go to open the door and there she is. Sarah, with tears in her eyes, eye bags, frizzy hair, looking like a total mess. During the time we've been together I've seen her in her UPS downs, but I'd never seen her in such horrible state before. So I let her in. She sits on the couch. We haven't still said a word as we were both dumbfounded. I was so overwhelmed by emotions. I wanted to hug her. I wanted to full on blast on her. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. So I did nothing and waited for her to talk. After 5 or 10 minutes of silence, she starts sobbing and saying she's sorry, and then full on crying. At this point, I can barely hold myself together. So I hold her hand and try to calm her down so I can figure out what is going on. After a while, she finally somewhat calms down and starts talking. And that's where it got bad. Something that I didn't include in the original post because it wouldn't make sense to anyway, is that Sarah's mother has been divorced and remarried once. From what Sarah has told me, her biological father cheated on her mother while she was still a kid, and that's why they broke up. And that's also why she doesn't have any kind of relationship with her father. It seemed odd when I first learned about it, but I didn't question it. That is not the whole story though. Sarah's biological father didn't only cheat on her mother. He was a drug addict piece of crap that also used to beat her up frequently. Without getting into a lot of graphic detail, in one instance, when Sarah's brother tried to intervene and protect her mother, he ended up getting beat up too. So when she saw me intervening and getting my butt kicked in the bar incident, it triggered some kind of PTSD in her head that she could not control. That's why she had grown distant and eventually left. It all spiraled out of control, and she could not handle it. In those 2 weeks we'd been apart, she'd barely eaten or slept and even made some dark thoughts which I'd rather not go into. She told me she is a horrible girlfriend for leaving me alone in my condition, and that she doesn't expect us to be together again after that, which I told her isn't the case. So we have a very long road ahead of us. My number one priority right is getting her to see a therapist, which I suggested we can do together if she's scared to do alone. So yeah, that's where we are at. Some of you were right that there was some deeper issue behind what happened, but I could not have possibly known. I also wanted to take this opportunity to say something that I got messaged about a lot. I got a lot of comments and messages saying that I was a moron for what I did at that parking lot and that I should mind my own business next time and not play the hero, etc. First of all, I did not initiate the fight with the dude. As I said, when I got there I tried to pretend I was the boyfriend of one of the girls in case. When that didn't work, I got between the girls and the dude, trying to create some space between them, and that's when he started to push me and eventually started throwing punches. Secondly, no matter how hard I hit the gym, I would never be able to take that guy one-on-one. As I said, I'm pretty fit and I've been working out for several years, but the fella was a lot bigger than me. Unless I had a gun or something, which isn't legal in my country, I was doomed. Finally, for the people telling me to mind my own business, well, let me you that what exactly what I was doing. It is mine and everyone else's responsibility to look after the ones who can't protect themselves in this crappy world. No, I do not consider myself a hero, nor did I do it for the show. I did it because in some other instance one of those girls could have been my girlfriend, sister, a mother needing help, and these girls were somebody else's girlfriend, sister, or mother. If I was put in that situation 100 more times, I would act the same. Edit. I also talked to her about the proposal I wanted to make this year. I was planning on doing it as a surprise, but in the way things have turned out, I figured it would be better if she knows it first. We both agreed it should be delayed for now. How should I, 36 female, react to husband, 40 male, suddenly Zoom calling with his ex? Background. He and I have been together for about 15 years. Lately, I feel like we've been growing apart. Nothing major, I just feel like he kind of forgets I exist. He's always working, and I'm not really a priority to him. And now with the COVID, since we are at home together all the time, he feels like we do spend time together, even though it's mostly watching TV at night or eating lunch over the sink together. This is not the first time I have sensed this distance between us. Current issue, my husband has remained good friends with his ex-GF for probably 20 years before my time. I'm not a huge fan of their friendship, but he insists on keeping it, so I just usually let it go because he doesn't listen or respect my opinion. Anyway, she's married and lives far away, so as far as I'm aware they only interact on social media every now and then. Today at lunch he told me that he was jumping on a Zoom call with her. As far as I know, this is the first time they've spoken face to face since they broke up 20 years ago. He has now been in this Zoom call for 2 hours and counting. Apparently, she also has this online conference thing she's hosting tonight, and he told me he's gonna tune into that too. I also found out that she had a conference the night before last. That night he was in his home office working late, but now I wonder if he attended that conference too, without telling me. I feel like I should talk to him about how I feel, but am I overreacting? At lunch when he told me about today's Zoom call, he asked if it was okay with me in kind of an annoyed tone, and I almost laughed out loud. Instead, I just shrugged and asked if what I thought even mattered. We both knew that he'd do whatever he wanted, whether I was okay with it or not. I know if I broach the subject I'll just look like the tiresome jealous wife, but am I justified here? I really can't tell anymore. Update. How should I, 36 female, react to husband, 40 male, suddenly Zoom calling with his ex? Just wanted to let everyone know that my husband was in fact cheating on me. He's been having an emotional affair with his ex that stretched over years. He confessed the day after I posted the original. We are now headed toward divorce after 15 good, well, I thought so, anyway, years together. Trust your intuition. And to everyone who told me I was just not being confident enough, or that I was being jealous, please go freak yourselves. Thank you. Edit. To answer a few questions. He loves her, and has said repeatedly that, if forced to choose he will choose her, so no reconciliation on the horizon. Emotional affair equals no physical contact, but an intimate emotional involvement with romantic intentions. Yeah, I messaged the ex's husband with all the details and he read it. Apparently, he is fine with it because they are not splitting up. She told my husband a couple of weeks ago she also had long-time feelings for him, and after that, they were sexting, so it did have a sexual element. They've been online pals in regular contact for at least 7 years, and he always refused to stop talking to her. My brother, 36 male, sexually abused my daughter, now 19, when she was a child. My mother knew and did nothing. My daughter has recently let me know that my brother sexually abused her multiple times over the course of 3 years. She was 8 when it started. To say that I'm feeling sick, full of guilt, and heartbroken is an understatement. I've always been so close with my brother and I never thought he would be capable of doing this. I stand by my daughter 100%. I'm making sure she knows this. I no longer have a relationship with my brother, and it hurts, but I know it's the right thing to do. My daughter doesn't want to press charges. Should I still encourage her to? After telling my parents about this, I come to find out my mom already knew about this years ago, when my brother confided in her. According to her, my brother is remorseful, and she has already forgiven him. It makes me so angry that she knew and did nothing. In my eyes, she failed me, my daughter, and her other grandchildren. Here is the part where this gets confusing for me. I don't know how to proceed with this. It breaks my heart that my mom is defending a child abuser. On the other hand, I love my mom and it hurts to think about possibly cutting her out of my life. Is it wrong of me to still want to maintain a relationship with my mother and still be supportive of my daughter? Update. I've decided to cut my mother out of my life. Unfortunately, that means my dad too, since he's supporting her decision. As painful as it is, my daughter comes first. I've warned all of the family with kids about my brother. I truly hope no one else was hurt. Fortunately, my daughter's mother, my ex-wife, and her side of the family have all been incredibly supportive. I'm constantly being reminded that my brother is better than me. Everyone constantly says that my brother, male 28, is better than me, male 20, parents, cousins, aunts, and uncles, teachers, and even my friends. It's been like that since I was 5, and it's not getting better. My brother never said anything like that, for which I love him so much, but every time I see him the only thing I see is something I'll never be. And he hasn't even done anything impressive. He still lives with my parents. But yeah, because of that I have zero confidence in me, and I feel like I'll never achieve anything, and I'm not even trying, because subconsciously I know I'll fail. Imagine every day being reminded that someone is better than you, and that you'll never be better than them, every day for 15 years. Most of them say it jokingly, so every time I try to tell them that I'm not comfortable with it by not laughing, or just look at them the wrong way. The only 2 people that I know who never said stuff like that are my cousin and my brother. My father even said that sometimes he feels like he loves that cousin more than he loves me and my brother in front of me, but after he realized how messed up that is, he corrected himself by saying not more, but close to it. But yeah, I mentally suffer because of that every day, and I have no one to share it with, and I can't just move out and start a new life. So yeah, I don't know what to do. Update. I'm constantly being reminded that my brother is better than me. It happened this morning before my dad and brother went to work. My dad said, loosely translated, your brother already got a job, when are you going to get one? And I'm basically occupied with college because I'm mostly studying, and I got annoyed when he said that, and I told him that I'm not comfortable with how everyone is treating me. He said that he was just joking, and that I'm apparently still too young, and he can't take me seriously. I basically said screw you, I'm leaving, and went to pack my stuff. He came after me and started pulling me, saying that I'm not going anywhere. I pushed him and told him that he doesn't decide anymore, and he told me if I leave this house I'm never welcomed again. I continued packing my stuff and he started getting physical and pushing me, so I pushed him back. He made a fist like he's going to punch me, but my brother stopped him and basically dragged him to the other room, where I could hear them screaming at each other. I packed my stuff and went to a friend because I didn't know where to go. My friend skipped work so he can be with me in case something happened. Still hasn't, and that I can stay with him as much as I have to. That all happened in the span of 3 hours, and I'm still shaken. And I'll probably get a restraining order, because if he pushes me again I'll probably hit him. My mom is blowing my phone all day, but I'm not picking up, and I think I'm done with this family. I just hope nothing serious happens. Update 2. I'm constantly being reminded that my brother is better than me. I talked with my brother to meet up somewhere, so he can give me some documents I needed, and we met. We talked for a bit, but he basically told me that my parents don't want to see me again, and I was okay with it. He told me if I needed something from him to call him, but I don't think I will. I will be staying with my friend until the virus is over and I can find a place. He said he will hook me up for a month or 2 until I get my first paycheck, and after that, I'll have to pay. I already found a job. It's not the best, and it doesn't pay much, but I can't be a chooser right now. I guess my adult life begins. Edit. I saw that everyone is saying that I should keep in touch with my brother. First off, I'm never leaving my brother. He's my brother and I love him so much. He's one of the people who always supported me, no matter what I did, and he is the most important person in my life as of now. When I said that I wasn't going to call him, I meant that I wasn't going to call him if I needed his help. I decided to do things alone and in my own way, but I'll always keep in touch with him no matter what. I also saw that some people say I overreacted. My father literally made a fist and was about to swing, but my brother stopped him. If he wasn't there, things would have been way worse, and I needed to leave that place. And I didn't mind getting a job when he said that. I've actually been looking for a good job that I can fit in my schedule, but because of the virus I have not been able to, and my father knew that he was just making fun of it. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, hit like, get subscribed, and give the OP any advice you have in the comment section, and support the original writers with upvotes. Links in the description box.